All right, come on. Is it working? All right, we're live. I always, when I go back and watch these videos, I laugh at the beginning when I'm going, are we there? Are we there? All right, hey, so we're live, TFWR. I'm here with Florida native, Florida owned, South Dade pride right here, Omi Acosta with Life U. And yo, look how dope this is. I woke up 2 mornings ago and I had a package in the mail of some cool Life U gear for me and my kids. So shout outs. I appreciate that. And so talk about how this has affected your world up there you're in Georgia, right? If I'm correct?
Yeah, I'm in Georgia. Yep. I
Yeah.
mean, things are kind of weird just because recruiting is all virtual. You can't have the face-to-face interactions with your recruits and things like that. So it's been kind of a little bit boring. But outside of that, Georgia's it's a pretty cool state. They're starting to open up little by little. The state parks are open. I actually went to the beach this past weekend and it was open. It was nice. So looking forward to getting back to normal.
A little different than Dade County, huh?
Oh yeah, I was actually in Miami for 3 weeks because my mom was freaking out. So I went down there with her, and everything shut down. I was like, I gotta get out of here. So I came back to Georgia.
Yeah, my dad's down in the Keys, so they got it all locked down there.
Yeah,
I grew up on Miami Beach, so spent some time down there myself.
nice.
Well, cool, man. So welcome, man. It's nice to have another Florida guy on here. We've had a bunch of them. It's amazing how many Florida kids and coaches and clubs are around the country that people don't know. They don't know the wrestlers we breed here. We breed some good ones. And so if you don't mind if I get into it, so you came out of South Dade, sixth place. So you got a state place for your last year, right?
No, my junior year, actually,
Junior.
my senior year, I broke my hand in the first tournament of the season. So I was gonna have I believe I could have been, a top contender for a state title that year, but Pete Baldwin from Osceola broke my hand. So
Oh,
my season was done, and actually my coach gave me a chance to come back, and I ended up losing the wrestle off my senior year. So I didn't get to wrestle my senior season.
yeah, things happen for a reason, right? But you went off to JUCO and NAIA. You won national championships on both those levels, and then you went on to. You've been an NAIA coach from where you wrestled, and now to Life U, right?
Yeah, 1 year between, I was a coach at the Coast Guard Academy in London, Connecticut. So it's a
Nice.
small D3 military academy. So I spent 1 year there, and then I went back to Grandview, and after a year at Grandview, then I ended up getting the job here at Lives, and I ended up moving down south.
Awesome, not bad too. You're not that far from home, so if you want
Oh
to
yeah,
make the run, you can.
sure.
So, so coming out of that legendary program, what has Balmaceda and Duck meant to you, your life, and your career?
Like I grew up in Dominican Republic. I didn't know what I thought wrestling was like WWE, smashing people with chairs and stuff. So it's a lot more different than meets the eye. So I moved from Dominican Republic the summer of my ninth grade year, and I met two people that got me into wrestling. It was Tico Baez, which he was a 3-time state champ for South Dade. He was a bad dude back in high school. And then my best friend Elise Fontaine. So they both wrestled in middle school, and we were outside playing around. And, we were outside playing. Sorry,
I like it.
my bad. So we were outside playing in the trampoline and stuff, and we started wrestling. And then I started wrestling, and I actually was scared to join the wrestling team because I was too small. I weighed like 70 pounds as a freshman, and I didn't know English. So there was another Spanish guy named Margarito Cruz. He actually was the one that was like, "Hey man, you need to come wrestle." So that completely changed my life, for the better. I would have been getting in trouble and doing who knows what. And definitely, Duck and Coach B, took me in and made me the man I am today. Duck is the technician. He taught me, how to wrestle and everything. And then Coach B was like the mastermind, behind everything. Like he'll get you to run through walls for him. And, I'm really thankful for that for him.
Yeah, what they do for the kids down there in the Homestead area in South Miami, and then with the club bringing kids from all over, they really get a lot of kids on that fast track to where you are today that would have never even had the opportunity. I mean, without wrestling, where would you be right now?
Uh, Homestead, like you could be doing a lot of things, a lot of bad things, who knows, especially in Miami, how it could be down there. So
Yeah, for
wrestling
sure,
was
man.
kind of like, got me out of trouble, was my escape. I didn't have a father figure, till, my mom got remarried, but, Coach B did a good job keeping me out of trouble. I was a hard-headed man. I'm pretty sure Coach B remembers talking to me a lot and, you know, what people are calling me right now.
They probably see you on TV. What
Oh,
So how far has Florida wrestling come since you were a wrestler in the state, and how far do you think it can go as far as competing with the big states, the big wrestling states, the Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, so on and so forth? I know that
um,
I know Team Florida can compete with Team anyone, but as far as a state, where do you think we are, and where can we get to?
I think we're pretty tough, man. Like I said, Florida can compete with anybody. D1, D2, D3. NAIA, JUCO. As you can see, like we have all Americans in JUCO, we have all Americans in D2, we have all Americans in D3. So I think that we're we're growing, we're getting better. We got top schools in the country like obviously South Dade, Lake Gibson, Lake Highland Prep. Miami Southwest that could compete with anybody else in the country, and it's an exciting time. It's exciting for me because I get to see these kids and recruit them.
Yeah,
So it's pretty awesome.
and so talk. You said a couple of guys, a couple of your own guys are over at. Well, one is in Iowa now, right?
Hmm.
And then you got Coach Duck's son
Hmm.
going there as well. So it's got to be cool to see. I mean, he must have been a little boy when you were wrestling in the clubs, and now to see him winning Super 32 and getting to where that must mean a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Like Pat Lugo and his parents used to take me out to they travel over the state, going to different tournaments and stuff. So they'll bring me along, and I'm really thankful for them. They got me exposure. They're the ones why I started wrestling in college. Since I broke my hand, I didn't have nowhere to go, so I just was wrestling freestyle. And a referee came up to me and told me like, "Hey, you should wrestle in college." And I was like, "Really?" And then that's why I ended up going the JUCO route, and I'm really thankful for them for what they did. And then obviously Duck, I known Bradley since he was a little kid, so it's kind of cool seeing him, being a
Yeah, I mean,
beast.
I had Spencer on yesterday, and he said that Pat Lugo, man, it was a good thing that he transitioned over there. He's really sad about this year, right? Obviously, he couldn't compete. He really was hitting his stride, but would like to see him do some damage in the NCAA's, being a Florida kid.
Yeah, I know it would have been cool, but he's gonna wrestle, in the senior level, so I'm excited to see him, chase the Olympic dreams. It's gonna be cool to watch him.
That's awesome. So, so you've been with NIA now for how many years? NAIA for now how many years?
I wrestled for two, and I've been coaching in AIA probably 4 or 5 years as an assistant, and then the other years, as the head coach.
So when you first started from where NAIA was 6 years ago or whatever, 7 years ago, and then to what it is today, talk about how much it's grown. We obviously just last year alone, we saw Kaiser, we saw St. Thomas down here in Florida, and I'm sure other places around the country. And then talk about how it's becoming a national powerhouse, and if it can get to the levels where it can compete with those top divisions.
NAIA has been growing since I've been in the NAIA, and it's competitive, man. Some people get confused. I think the NAIA, the top NAIA team could compete with anybody else, in the country. But now I think we have about 72 teams, and they keep adding. And the cool thing about the NAIA is that you could have 12 guys, competing instead of 10, and it gives people more opportunity to compete and wrestle. And it's a great division. There's tough teams. There's good people. There's D1 transfers that come in. There's everything that you can find in the NAIA. And I'm sure that the top teams in the country could compete with anybody, any other division.
Well, and you're starting to see, I mean, look at the recruits that you guys are getting. So These are recruits that could have gone, probably higher end colleges as the perception is, right? And not too now. I mean, just think about that. How many D1 wrestling teams are there? 60, maybe? Am I wrong?
I think
Somewhere
so, yeah.
around there. And you got 72 NAIA teams. And yeah, I mean, look, like you talk to a 14-year-old kid, he's like, you're telling me that the best 125 at NAIA can compete with the best 125. And no, look, there's blue chip athletes that are just, that's them, right? But when you talk about the the bulk of the meat and potatoes of these divisions, they can compete with each other. And I think that's basically what you're saying. Yeah, look, the top 125 NAIA guy is not going to do much on the mat against Spencer Lee, right? We know that. But these are a handful of guys that are just over the moon, right?
Hmm.
But for the bulk and potatoes, you can put a duel together with any team in the country, and you'll pick off some of those guys, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially like the teams down in down south. I'm sure we recruit the same type of athletes, and I think it'll be a fun duel. But so yeah, I believe we can compete with anybody.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a recruiter the other day on here, um, and he said that NAI is starting to compete at the D1 level. It could be the new thing. So it's cool, and I think kids out there have a perception that I want to change because look, all kids have that vision. I want to go to a D1 school. I want to be a blue chip athlete. I want to be at a Penn State, Iowa, whatever. But part of this platform that I created is that there's great wrestling clubs out there. NAIA is an amazing opportunity for you. Division 3, take it and run. I mean, these are opportunities that because you've wrestled, you're getting these huge opportunities and go get an education because unless you are the Spencer Lee, you're not wrestling much after college, right? You're coaching, you're in clubs. So I think the NAIA has become a really, really good platform. And when you're talking to a kid and they're kind of between maybe you or NAIA and maybe a Division 2 or Division 3 school, what are you saying to those guys?
I feel the dream. We have never won NAIA national championship down here at Life, and here you get the opportunity to do that. You get here. When we go to opens, you most likely run into D1 guys anyway. You run into all divisions. So the reason why somebody, a lot of kids get caught up in the whole D1 thing, the NCAA thing, is because everybody wants to live the D1 dream. I was part of it. I wanted to do it too, but in reality, you have to go where you have more opportunities. Sometimes smaller classrooms are going to be better for that student athlete than being in a classroom where you're going to be 200, for one professor. Here in NAIA or Division 2, Division 3, you get to know your professors and you actually get to learn and get on hands-on experience rather than being just a number. And
that's a big deal, Omi, because Daniel has a friend that graduated from high school last year and got talked into going to the University of Florida and went up there, and now he's transferred to Samford because just those big classrooms in those big areas, he just was losing his mind and he was used to that small comfort space. So what you're saying there is really, it's true.
And like I could go back to my experience. Like after JUCO, I was okay. I'm going Division 1. I could wrestle in that next level. And I was looking at going at some Division 1 schools, but in the end of the day, the best fit for me, coming from another country, not knowing English correctly, so I had to go the NAIA route. Smaller classrooms and obviously more wrestling, more scholarship money. So that's another thing that people get it wrong. NAIA, there's a lot of money that could be saved if you go at the NAIA.
Which you don't get with D3.
Yeah, you don't get in D3 and in Division 1. Sometimes you only get 25% or so. I mean, I'm not sure, but NAIA we have a little bit more flexibility with with financial aid.
Yeah, so it's been great, and the feedback that I've gotten with people coming on, like parents of kids who are going to be in that recruiting process in the next few years, are like, man, it's been so cool meeting all these coaches on here because where else? When are you going to talk to them? Pretty soon you're going to be on the recruiting trail, and I'm having NAIA schools on here. I'm having clubs, UCF in Florida and whatever, because you may want to stay home. You may be getting public money. Your kids might have, or your parents might be on that college Florida plan, and you don't have a choice. Well, they got wrestling. You can go wrestle. And those clubs go up and wrestle opens too, don't they?
Yeah, like we go to the UCF Open every year. I bring my guys, and they have some tough guys. They have some really tough guys. So, like I said, as long as you're wrestling and, in college, it gives you structure. It doesn't matter what level you're wrestling. What matters is that you started something, and you're just going to finish and get a degree out of it. Wrestling is just the icing on the cake. Like you could get a degree out of it. You could build relationships out of it. You could do a lot of things with wrestling.
That's the vehicle. The vehicle
Yeah.
is getting you. And I'll tell you what, over the last 4 years, I've only been around wrestling this was my third season with my son. And you've heard me talk about what it's done for him. And what you're doing at Life U, man, is amazing. I see you guys at all the tournaments. I hear your name. I know your name. I recognize your name. And I don't know if it's just because I'm in Florida and that's your stomping ground. But whatever you're doing marketing wise, it's great. I mean, you've got a great following. I got one of your guys, Jake Britt, on here. He's like, that's my coach. I had him on. And, and you've got a name that sells, Omi Acosta. I mean, that name sells. That's lights, baby. People don't have that name. You're not a John.
That's my mom, where she got it from, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Like when you hear Omi Acosta, you think, yo, I get to talk to him, man. That's badass, right? So it's cool, man. You got that Life U. It's crazy. Whenever I was hearing of Life U, I thought it was just some sort of like trick to get people to come up and talk to you or something. And then they're like, no, that's a college, man. It's a college. I'm like, oh, cool. So I remember the neon green and stuff. So as far as you, and let's talk about your program, what are the core values that you bring to your program and you put in and instill into your kids?
I just want to build, guys of strong character, so when they're done with me, I could go get a job and I could say they wrestled for me. We focus a lot on just being good people overall. It's crazy. I learned this from my coaches, until I moved to, my 4-year institution at Grandview, is that if you want to be good at wrestling, you have to be good at everything else that you do in your life, not just wrestling. Because if you're a good student, if you show up to class, you're good, you're good to your parents, you're good to your significant other, that's going to carry on to your wrestling. And I'm a true firm believer that, there's wrestling gods out there that if you're not doing the right thing, you're not going to win. And, like I had like my junior year, I wasn't doing the right things. And what happened? I was ranked super high going to the NAIA Nationals. I won barbecue. I went 2-2. And then I sat back and realized, like, why didn't I accomplish my goals? I wasn't doing the right things. And, my senior year, I changed my lifestyle, changed my diet, started being grateful for the people I have around me, started being a better son to my parents, started being a better teammate, all that carrying on to my wrestling. And what that happened, that boosted me up to, a different level. I was able to compete at a higher level. I was a better peace of mind. And I ended up winning a national title my senior year.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, it's great for parents too, because as much as the kids start to love wrestling, it's a new thing for me. I go like this. Hey, Danielito, I'm calling Coach Rose. You better behave. I'm calling. No. Don't call my wrestling coach. Or I'm calling Palazzo at the club. It's club time. You want to? No. Call Palazzo. So yeah, we got, for parents, it's good too, because if we call your wrestling coach, like, no, he's gonna make me work next time I go there. He's gonna cross face me because I'm being mean to my parents. But that's awesome, man, and it's good for you. So, obviously, it sounds like you're very big into academics as well. It's got to be cool too to start to see you've been a coach around long enough where you're seeing your own kids start to get into coaching. So that's got to be dope. And what does a typical week look like for a student athlete at Life U, as far as in season and out of season? What kind of programs do you put together for them? Both ways. So I'm sure you have an off-season program that you gear them towards just keeping in shape and getting ready for the next year, and saying, hey, here's the weight we're looking to get you to, or here's where we think you'll wrestle. And then also, hey, go get an internship, or go get some mentoring, or whatever. Kind of both directions. How do you make sure that you got their mind right to focus on those two important things, if that makes sense?
Yeah, so basically we're a little different. We don't start school till October. That's when we're on a quarter system, so we're not in semester. So we don't start school till October. We get guys to report in around early September, and they have a whole month of preseason without classes. So during that time, we get ready. We do all the running, do the physicals, get in shape, etc. And then in October, that's when they start classes. So when you start classes, we usually Mondays and Wednesdays, we usually lift in the morning. But next year I'm changing up. We're gonna be lifting in the afternoon instead of the mornings. And we just wrestle basically every day. I give them Sunday off, and we wrestled, 5 to 6 days a week. We do morning workouts as well, like different drills depending on, we take a lot of film and then we break it down and see what we're doing wrong. So a lot of morning drills, afternoon practice and lifts, and obviously class in between. So they get to go to class, relax, and then go to practice or go to their lifts. And during the off season, I wish they were here now. We usually wrestle 2-3 times a week. We lift, and I don't do it as structured in the off season just because I want to make it fun for them. I don't want to go in there screaming at them and things like that. So we'll go in, I'll teach them one thing, we'll work on that, and then we wrestle live and go home.
What type of mentoring or internship programs are available to them away from wrestling as far as on the career path side?
Well, it depends what the majors are. Like, for example, like here we only have like 10 majors, 12 majors. We're not like other liberal arts institutions. So, if they want to be a chiropractor, obviously this is the biggest chiropractic school, in the world. So they get connected.
That's like a niche school, right?
Yeah.
So I'm listening. I'm gonna grab something.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Oh, so we started as a chiropractic school. So we got big connections there. So if guys want to be a chiropractor, we'll get them everywhere that they need to, where they need to be. For our business majors, they have internships at different things. The school's well connected in the Atlanta, Marietta area. So whatever you're looking for, I'm pretty sure you could find it here.
There we go. How's that look?
That looks better, man.
Trying to get your view down there. Let's see.
Man, you look official, man.
Look at that. We got life in the house.
I know, all official.
No, it's not the best, but I was thinking about it. I'm like, cool. Well, yeah, so it's a niche school. It's a chiropractic school.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless what division it is, if you're looking to be a chiropractor, it doesn't matter if you're D1 or whatever. That doesn't matter. That's a college.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you're right with that, because a lot of kids, especially from Dade County, I mean, these big cities, they want to experience something different, and you go to Georgia, North Carolina, the Midwest, the Northeast, like the Vermonts and Connecticut, you get that. Well, you went from Dominican Republic, which is a whole nother story. And then you went to South Dade, which is, you're living in Miami, and then you go to Georgia. So you've got to be like a breath of fresh air when you walk out into that fresh Georgia mountains, man. It's got to be awesome. And to be a kid from where you came from to get to where you are today, your mama got to be proud.
Oh yeah, she's proud.
That's cool. So when you're out there recruiting and you're looking for athletes, is it, first of all, are you mainly recruiting the Southeast, and then recruiting, what are some of the intangibles you look for as far as the kids that you want in your room?
It depends. Every kid comes with a different story. So when I recruit a kid, I usually, ask coaches, ask people around. I give kids chances. I got a chance to to compete and wrestle. So I try to get these kids, even if they come from a little rough area, get them and shape them up and get them to be good people. Like I said, I recruit from South Florida. That's where I'm from. We got in some really tough guys from down there. So I'm gonna keep doing that. And then I obviously try to recruit everywhere else in the country. If you're tough and you want to make some lifestyle changes, Coach O's gonna come for you.
It's not. Hey, listen, South Dade is not a bad breeding ground. So the kids from down there, and I'm sure it means a lot that you can relate. I mean, that's the life you went through, and that's what. I mean, even my dad is 68 or whatever, and he was a cop for 30 years in Miami, and then he's had another 30-year career, 25-year career afterwards in South Miami. But he'll even tell you, man, what those guys have done over the last 20 years in South Dade, for the community alone. Forget wrestling, like just as people, just great things. So whatever they're doing, they need to keep it up. And they're breeding good people. They're breeding good wrestlers, and those wrestlers are getting educations. And now, from what I understand, Spence Lee said yesterday, you have to take the masters to be a coach. So they've changed that up now. So now you you're good. You're grandfathered in. Now you gotta get a master's, right? It's like some of these athletic trainers. I know my sister-in-law had to get a master's to be a physical therapist. Now you got to get a doctorate. So hey, you want to coach at that level? Education matters, man.
I have a master's, so that's cool. So I already got
Oh,
it out of the way.
you got your master's.
Yeah.
Good. So the way your facial expression was like, damn, I'll go. So good. He has his master's already. Good for you. So
Yeah. So like I said, like when I was in the coaching, as an assistant coach, I was like, I might as well get this out the way because I know I wanted to be a head coach. So I got in 2016. I graduated my master's. So
well, and you're at the college, right? So
yep.
What the heck, right? That's awesome, man. So, man, you're doing big things up there, not just for your school, but for the NAIA community and for wrestling in general. And it's great to see, young adults like yourself that wrestling gave them a way of life. I mean, this is you admitted at the beginning, you're a kid that who knows where you'd be if someone didn't put their arms around you and bring you into the wrestling room, whether it was a buddy or duck and be, whatever. But now look at you, masters in college, coaching kids, and you're bringing that back to the community. So this is why I want to talk wrestling, because people don't know what wrestling does. It's not just a sport, it's a way of life. And you guys are proving that.
Yeah. And, like I said, wrestling is like you said before, wrestling is a vehicle that you can use to get out and make it, get a degree. For example, like I'm a full-time coach right now. All I do is recruit kids, go, around the country, watch flow wrestling, watch videos. I don't wake up any day thinking like, hey, I got to go to work. I'm like, man, I'm excited to go to work, man. I get to go wrestle, hang out.
It's not a job if you love it, right?
Nope.
If you're doing what you love, it's not a job.
Yep.
I'll tell you, this quarantine's been the best thing that happened to me. I've always wanted to have a little platform, do a show, even from when I was in the car industry. And then I do real estate now, so I do some of those shows. But the wrestling community has just kind of sucked me right in, and now I can't stop. Even on the other end of this, I'm not stopping, man. I can't wait to get into rooms now and go live with someone right there, man, coming off the mat, just one, how you feel, showing reactions, it's awesome, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's great, man. And if you ever go to a room and you're in Atlanta, they're building us a wrestling room, so it should be done around December, January date. So if you're in Atlanta, make sure to come and check us out.
Man. Yeah, I'll message you my cell so you can send me yours, and then we'll keep in touch. And whenever you come down to Central Florida or something, we'll have to get my father-in-law makes that coquito, man. It's good.
Oh, okay. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. So whenever you're in town, I'll get him to shake you up a bottle.
I'll make sure to drive by, man. Like I said, I drive down all the time, man. Like my parents live in Homestead, and I just enjoy driving down to Florida. I get to stop in different places, recruit, go to the beach, keep driving. It's fun.
There's some good clubs, and now there's better clubs coming. I mean, you've got Connor Beebe now with Beebe Train. You've got Olson opened up that Strawberry Crest. I had the Scorpions on from New Jersey. They're coming in. You've got CFWA. I had the Manatee Mafia on. I had the guys down in Palm Harbor with the Canes. I'm a U guy, so I was like, I like your name.
Yeah, man, that's a cool. Oh, wow.
It's all about the U,
cool.
baby.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm a big Canes fan, even though I did bring on the Gator guy, and I got Florida State's guys coming on. And all right, I'll talk wrestling with you, but
yeah, I'm a University of Miami fan too, so I definitely.
It's in your blood, man, when you're down there.
Yeah.
So it's cool, man. Hey, man, I really appreciate it, and the gear, man. You didn't have to, but I love it. And once I get this video torn off of Facebook and put onto YouTube, I'll send it to you, and you can share it with the shirt and everything.
Oh yeah, man, official, man. The best colors in the game, right there, man.
I love it, man. The only thing better would be orange and green.
I know, but hey, you know,
I like it, man. Hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. And I know you got a third place finish this year, right?
no, that was the year before. Last year we had a little. We were doing really good. We took second on national duels, won our conference, but nationals we didn't compete as we wanted to. We were pretty young, pretty banged up. We ended up taking 10th.
All right, well,
So
you'll get it. So you ready for the 10 questions?
yeah, I'm ready.
All right, you're down by 3. Going into the third period, you have choice. Top, bottom, neutral.
Top.
Ooh, a lot of people pick bottom. That's nice, different. Folk style, freestyle.
Folk style.
Headgear, no headgear.
No headgear.
You've got 1 day to train. Do you go to a rumble or a clinic?
Clinic.
Who wins the rematch, Loudon Swain or Brian Shute?
I don't even know who they are, to tell you the truth.
Cool. I didn't know who they were either until someone made me ask the question. I had to look it up.
Really?
So don't worry. I don't know a lot of things. I've learned over the last 4 weeks. Which title holds more prestige in your opinion, the Super 32 or the Fargo?
I would say Super 32 just because, I like folk style.
More dominant, pin or a tech?
Tech.
Popeyes or Chick-fil-A?
I'll do Chick-fil-A.
Whopper or Big Mac?
Neither.
Nuggets or tenders?
Neither.
Okay. Bistec con papa frita or arroz con pollo?
Arroz con pollo.
Damn. All right. Good. Con gandules or the other beans?
Guandula will do.
You don't get that in Georgia, do you?
Yeah, there's actually in Atlanta. There's any type of food you're looking for, you can find. There's
Oh,
a Dominican restaurant down the street, Cuban, whatever you want.
Oh, perfect. So making waves up there too, huh? That Latin culture.
Yep.
All right, brother. Hey, man, keep in touch. I appreciate you. We can jump on anytime you want. You just hit me up and we'll do it.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.